What if you're getting a new computer, or you have a computer and you're not totally satisfied with the keyboard? What kind of keyboard should you get to make your life easier when it comes to ProPresenter? Well, stick around and find out. Presented by Church Tech U, it's the ProPresenter Show. On today's show, what kind of keyboard should you get to run ProPresenter? Hi, and welcome again to the ProPresenter Show. This is the show where I teach you all about ProPresenter. My name is Paul Allen Clifford. And before we get started, tell me what kind of keyboard you prefer for ProPresenter, just as I'm telling you what kind I would get if I were you. So this is, I've been watching some videos online, and one video I saw was like tools of the 3D printing trade. And that got me thinking, well, what are the tools of the ProPresenter trade? Well, I've already talked about my preferred computer, and just because I'm a Mac guy doesn't mean that ProPresenter won't run great on Windows. It will, if you have the right Windows computer. Just don't buy the cheapest one you can, but buy one that's fairly recent with enough RAM and everything. All that to say, what about keyboards? Well, you might guess, being a Mac guy, that I'm going to tell you that I use a Mac keyboard, and you're absolutely right. But my point in telling you all that is not to say that either of these keyboards, like it has the best travel, it makes the right amount of clickiness, none of that. I really don't care. What I'm trying to talk about is the layout of the keyboard. And so, in general, there is one thing that the keyboard I normally use for ProPresenter when I'm doing my classes or when I'm here at the desk lacks in. And so I thought that I would bring the keyboard I use most of the time from over at my desk and show that to you. So that is this keyboard. Now, what makes this keyboard so good for ProPresenter? Well, you might have noticed it already. It's these keys right in through here. And so I'm not saying you need the white keyboard. I'm not saying you need the Apple keyboard. I'm saying that it will make your life easier if you have a keyboard that has the numeric keypad, the 10 key, whatever you call it. This segment right here. Now, why is that? Well, let's head over to the computer. So let's say that I am on this song right here. And of course, I can jump around to different parts of the song by typing in the hotkeys. So, you know, if you've seen the lesson I did on that, verse 1 through 6, has a hotkey right here through the home keys, so starting with A, S, D, etc. So, for example, S, you'll notice, took me immediately there. So that's the verses, the bridges are B, N, and M. The choruses are C, X, and Z, or Z if you're part of the British Commonwealth in any sort of form or fashion. We Americans are just weird calling ours Z instead of Z. But that's all fine and good. But what happens if there isn't a hotkey? So there isn't a hotkey here. There isn't a hotkey here. Isn't a hotkey here. Well, you do have two choices. You can either move your mouse over, but that will take some time. And it's actually a little faster, especially if you are used to doing the 10 key keyboard, to just type that in. So let's say it was 16. I can just type 16 enter. Here, let's make sure that I'm on the right thing here. Okay, 1-6 enter, and it takes me there. Slide number 1, 1 enter. Slide number 2, 2 enter, etc. So I can jump around really quickly. You don't actually see it here because I'm on the stage screen. But yeah, I can just jump around, no problem. Here, actually on the wrong look here, but you can see that I can jump around no problem just by typing that in. And let's count. Let's see here. Let me go to, let's see here. Yeah, I do have a slide 21. So from here down to 21. Ready, set, go. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Okay, took like about 3 seconds. Now let's go back up there to 14, and except this time I'm just going to type it. 1, 4. If you make a mistake, all bets are off. But if you just type in 1, 4, you can see how I can do that in just a fraction of a second. So, slide 3, 3 enter. Slide 21, 21 enter. See how quickly I can hop around? So that's why I think not necessarily an Apple keyboard, but one that has these numbers is just going to make your life so much better. And you might be saying, well, we actually don't have a keyboard like that, and we really like this keyboard for everything else. Is there any solution to that? Yes. Yes, there is. As it turns out, they make additional 10-key keyboards that's the only thing that they do. So I actually travel with one of those because when I'm teaching my class, this one might be adequate for what I'm doing, but I have that other keyboard, just that 10-key module that is a wireless USB, so I can plug it into USB, turn it on, and do stuff like that. So that is kind of a solution. They make them wired as well. So let's say you love everything about your keyboard except it doesn't have that. Well, you can just plug one of those into your USB and you're good to go. So that's the one thing that I would absolutely suggest, if you have room for it, that you would go ahead and get, is either a full-size keyboard with the numeric keypad or an external numeric keypad, just so that you can jump around quickly and easily into different spots in your presentations. If you like this content, you'd probably like my ProPresenter Quick Start course. So head on over to TDM.fyi/pro-quick. Give me your name and email address and I'll make a login for you for free. Till next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford from TrinityDigitalMedia.com and ChurchTechU.com, reminding you to go out and change eternity.